For a joint scientific and geographical piece of organization, give me Scott. For a winter journey, Wilson. For a dash to the pole and nothing else, Amundsen. And if I am in the devil of a hole and want to get out of it, give me Shackleton every time.
With history, there's often a sense that because things happened a certain way, they had to have happened that way. That with all the factors and causes and effects feeding into each other, the most likely result is what happened historically. But we know that's not true. I mean, the most likely result if you roll two six-sided dice is you'll get a 7, but you don't roll a 7 every time. Sometimes you roll snake eyes or boxcars. And with historical games, there's often a sense that a simulation that can recreate the historical result is a good model. But again, sometimes what actually happened historically is a fluke. What happened historically was so improbable that to just recreate it wouldn't really give you the story, wouldn't give you a sense of how miraculous this was. I found it's much more important to represent that miracle not through recreation, but through its absence, to show just how crazy it was that things turned out the way that they did.
At the beginning of the game, you'll draw 2 cards each turn, choosing one for its action, the other for its test. Fail an action or a test, and you will suffer its penalty, demoralizing the men pictured on that card. This makes it harder for them to complete future actions, which in turn leads to more men becoming demoralized. As the months pass, as hope fades, you'll start drawing more cards. 3, 4, 5 a turn. But you're still just choosing 2 cards, and any you don't choose, you'll have to suffer the penalty.
A lot of my games are designed intentionally to fall apart, for the systems to break down and become difficult to play, and that's also true here. This is a bleak game. It's not for everyone. I tried to focus on suffering, on the physical, mental, emotional suffering the men went through, and try to convey that both within the text of the cards and the events, but also kind of mechanically. There are certain stretches of the game that will be slightly monotonous, because it turns out being trapped in Antarctica for months is monotonous, and it kind of eats at your soul a bit, and I wanted to try to convey that mechanically. It was important to me that I didn't present this as some kind of grand polar adventure kind of thing, because I think that really does a disservice to the suffering and to the fact that this very nearly was a tragedy. Something that's unusual about the game is that it doesn't have any victory conditions. You cannot win the game or lose the game. The game just will end at a certain point, either with rescue or without it. Maybe a partial rescue, maybe everyone. And then you decide how you did and what your session meant.